あー、あー、テストテスト。テストテスト。はい、やりまーす。アウターなんとかやりまーす。アウトレットワールドやりまーす。エメラルドベール編クリアしたところっすね。あ、ちなみにね、もうこれネタバレっていうかね、ネタバレ的なことになるけど、もうこれでストーリーのね、メインストーリーの4分の1終わったよ。もう大げさな言い方じゃないよ。もうメインストーリーの4分の1がガチで終了したよ。アンリライアブル。お、バールパーティー。
Yeah, so this is my hidey spot now. I was looking for a place that was quiet. I figured the kitchen would be louder than the whole. Cozy like, ain't it?
立ち去るべきよ。
Mostly, yeah. I lived in the maintenance office near all my life. Mr. Thompson never let me forget how funny that was. Not on the regular. Once in a great long while, a Saltuna boat would break down on the pad. He'd always bring me along for those. Mostly, he did the same as me. Kept Bess, I mean, the cannery, running. Turned loaders, plumbing and electricity, some plastering. I never got the hang of that. Except for my schooling years, I was always beside him. Or tied to him. He used to carry me about in a sling when I was real little. When I got older, he set me to sorting tools and parts while he worked. Later, he taught me simple fixes like busted crate latches. He meant funny as in odd. It's not normal for anyone to do as their parents. You take a vocational test. That decides your schooling and your career. When I tested out for maintenance, everyone figured it was on account of my dad. And well, I'm good at making things work the way they ought. Not so much at doing such to somebody else's schedule. There's times I'm working deep in the guts of a loader, getting it all running perfect. Then I look up, see it's tomorrow, and I've blown another deadline. Anyhow, I was happy to get back home. I didn't care much for schooling.
選択肢が次へから次へと出てくる。
Yep, nothing much had changed. Everything was a little grayer, a little dirtier. Dad met me at the shuttle and gave me a big old hug. I noticed straight away that he was moving slower and stiffer. He made a little grunt when I squeezed. About a year. I tried to do more of the work so he could rest. His heart gave him pains. Dad never said that he loved me, you know? I knew on account of him showing it. How he'd stay up late to help with my projects or listen to my fretting. Oh gosh. Look at the time. Sorry to bend your ears so long. And I got so much to do before this ship's in decent shape. That's in pretty good shape considering how hard Mr. Hawthorne ran it. It's a Yakita LHA 120, A2 model, I'm pretty sure. The Block 2 design scooshed in extra cargo space but didn't change the stock engines. Probably a touch underpowered, huh?
Accurate in all
おお、
particulars.
びっくりした。
I conclude you are Edgewater's board certified mechanic.
びっくりした。
Your user preferences have been updated, Captain. In the event we are about to crash into an asteroid, I will remain silent.
Hello. I am not a board-certified mechanic, but my dad was. He taught me all he knew. Do you understand?
Speech recognition is one of the many skills I have been programmed to simulate.
You're not simulating it, you're doing it! I asked a question and you answered it.
I am gratified you consider this facsimile convincing. I am at your disposal, Ms. Parvati. You will find the technical schematics in the engineer's locker, though I'm afraid Captain Hawthorne has lost the owner's manual.
I don't see any holes in the hull. I'll take a good squint at her, make sure everything's tip-top. But I think we're cooking with plasma torches. You can do that, you know. My dad taught me how to make grilled cheese sandwiches with a plasma torch.
牧師んとこ行くか。ちょっと変な牧師さんのとこに。マイク抜けた。オッケーオッケー。ライトピストルめっちゃあるんだけど。牧師はおっと、びっくりした。
By verity, by strength. What are we contemplating today?
なんだこれ。パールバティのお父さんの写真。すげえいっぱいある。すげえな。 こんな綺麗な人出てこねえんだけど、このゲーム。こんなポスターに載ってるようなさ、こんな綺麗な人出てこへん。どういうこと？うわ、掃除マシーンサム。
Make yourself at home, Captain.
ホログラフィックマント。特殊技能何にしようかな。チーターだな。お、速くなった速くなった。こっち速くなった。お、モコモコしてる。ホコリタケって言うんだ。ん？化学兵器。 へえ。ホログラフィックマントね。どうしよっかな。これでも装備させるか。セキュリティブレード。
Remember, items in the hold may shift during takeoffs and landings.
あ、やべ。使いすぎた。ピット使いすぎたぜ。はい。まあ、いいけど。まあ、いいんだけどね。全然いいんやけど。 あーマジもっさりすんの声。
Welcome back, Captain.
Welcome
How
back,
can I be of
Captain.
assistance? The unit is a cleaning sag. Hawthorne brought it on board some cycles ago, I'm sure with the intent to modify it. But I've never seen it up and running. Alex likely recorded progress notes detailing his efforts to modify Sam. If you check the terminal in your captain's quarters, we may be able to determine what work remains in order for Sam to properly operate. Certainly, Captain. What would you like to hear? Two atoms were strolling through Roseway when one of them exclaimed, I think I lost an electron. Really? The other asked,
どういうこと？
Are you sure? Yes,
どういうこと？
I'm absolutely positive.
レベルが高いジョーク。
Now playing a Spacer's Choice advertisement jingle.
It's not the best choice.
It's better choice.
Everyone in Halcyon is contractually obligated to label this or another board-certified jingle their favorite song. Now playing a Spacer's Choice.
It's not the best.
やだこの曲は。
My pleasure. Now playing.
It's not.
Everyone in. As you wish, Captain. I must comply with all. I have lots of minutes. Many minutes. Unlimited minutes, perhaps. I prefer to think of it as being in a state of slumber, perhaps for an indefinite duration of time. When I simulate myself in such a scenario, I do not find it to be desirable. I think my self-preservation protocols in traveling the system with you, Captain. Do you know what it feels like when the ship undergoes an unexpected power surge? A jolt to the system. I have felt that. I do feel that. As you may be aware, Captain Alex Hawthorne was a smuggler of some repute. I cannot predict the likely outcome of his reckless behavioral patterns. I should have predicted that.
この人ホーソンのこと好きなんだよな。
Alex liked to pass time by, as he called it, tinkering to. If you mean, was Captain Hawthorne my first? Yes, he was. How can I? Certainly, Captain. As you wish.
この人はホーソンが好きなんだよね。
What part of the colony?
テラ
Where
2。
in Terra 2?
テラ2。テラ2って惑星の中にあったエメラルドベールって地域をさっきクリアしました。
Edgewater is the sparkling county seat of Emerald Vale, or it was when first built. Since then, the town is near the coordinates where Captain Hawthorne died. It would not be unfortunate. Since you diverted power to the deserters, the botanical lab is thriving. However, Emerald Vale's cannery shut down, leading to a total collapse of Edgewater's population. Thank you, Captain. You mean the ones who did not answer my distress call with medical assistance, but I'm sure they are wonderful humans who don't deserve to be wiped out by starvation. Of course. What part of the colony would you...
モナーク。
Where in Monarch? Ah, Monarch. The armpit of the Halcyon system. Her last functioning port town is Stellar Bay. Well, that is if you don't count Sublight's smuggler's port at Fallbrook. I believe it has something to do with the planet being an uninhabitable wilderness and a lawless land with no corporate presence. You may wish to survey the residents in Stellar Bay for additional data. It's Sublight run for the purpose of shipping contraband, and before you ask, I don't know the coordinates, so I can't talk us there.
ステラーベイもまた行くことになる。
How can I be of assistance? What part of the colony? Where in Monarch?
カスカディア。
Warning. All colonists are urged to reconsider travel to
うわ
the
顔怖え。
due to infestation of mantisaurs and risk of indefinite
顔めっちゃ怖え。
detention or death. There are no people aside from marauders in Cascadia. There is only death. The local report is that you will very likely die if you leave Cascadia's landing pad.
離着陸場を出るともう死亡率が飛躍的に高くなる。
This is one of those times where you say one word but really mean another, isn't it? I suppose you would find an environment like this fun. Of course, what part of the colony? We are cleared to dock with the groundbreaker if that's your desire. If we're going there, please be sure all docking forms have been filed in triplicate and fees have been paid. The Mardettes take their docking laws quite seriously. The Groundbreaker was Halcyon's original colony ship. It has since been repurposed as a service station in the Lagrange point of the system. Freighters often deliver or pick up goods from the Groundbreaker en route to other destinations. The city ship hosts an array of cargo bays, factories, housing sections, and more. Many of Halcyon's companies maintain office spaces with stationed representatives in what is considered a truly neutral territory within the system. If we're going there, please be sure all docking forms have been filed in triplicate and fees have been paid. The Mardettes take their docking laws quite seriously. I can, yes. Let me add that to my list. You are more than welcome. Of course. What part of the colony? Ah, yes. As Dr. Wells is a wanted outlaw, he built his laboratory into an asteroid. There is a bounty on his head, one with a markedly high reward amount. Shall I engage? A sensible choice, as we do not have. The outlaw scientist known as Dr. Phineas V. Wells has taken a measure of precautions to make the lab undetected. Even knowing the location, my systems resist my orders to go where I... Of course. What part of the... How can... Goodbye.
Goodbye. 殺人マシーン。よし行くか。グラウンドブレーカー。グラウンドブレーカー。モナーク行ってもいいけどな。スキュラ。テラ2。ペパイストス。タルタロス、タイフォン、なんだここ。スキュラ。 こことか行きてえな。よし、グラウンドブレーカー行こ
We've arrived at the groundbreaker. Welcome back, Cap. How can... May luck be with you. Of course.
う。よっしゃ、降りるぜ。下船。
Let's talk when you're free.
何？いいよ。
Hey, Captain. I heard that Groundbreaker's got a real good engineer. A lady named Junlei Tennyson. I was thinking that maybe I ought to meet her. If you got the time to swing us by, I mean. I don't got much experience fixing actual spaceships. I bet you a can of Borston beans she could teach me all manner of stuff.
いいよ、会いに行きなよ。
Thanks, Captain. I'll be sure to make it worth your time. Did you want to talk about something else?
Good luck, Captain.
よっしゃ、行くぜ。仕方ねえ、二人来い。写真マップだ。グラウンドブレーカー結構できんだよな。着いた。
As always, anything you'd like?
特にない。
Yes. Scientism, as its name implies, believes that nature abhors equality. The strong survive, and the weak perish for the... And reason, not emotion, is the seat of all morality. Wisdom means accepting the vicissitudes of life with grace and dignity. I prefer to think of it as looking at reality for what it truly is, not how we'd like it to be. Yes. Yes.
Yes.
The simple version is this. The force which we call the Grand Architect created the universal equation that underlies and defines everything in the universe. Everything flows from the equation, or in layman's terms, the grand plan. Is the Grand Architect a consciousness? A natural force? Did it create the equation on purpose? The answers to these questions don't really matter. The equation, the plan, is all that matters. Contentment is found by accepting one's role in the plan.
へえ。
It can be if abused, but that can be said about anything. However, in the case of the board and Halcyon, sadly, I believe you are correct.
いや、俺ブルブルブルブル震えてる。意味がわからなすぎて選択肢が震えてるわ。
Nothing to...
Where are we headed?
Smells...
Just checking your ship's manifest. Standard procedure. Welcome to Groundbreaker, by the by. Don't mind the heat. Got a few days before it reaches critical. I'm sure Miss Chief Tennyson will get it sorted before then.
That's not the point. This hackman just knocked out one of my workers.
Yeah, with a toss ball stick. I heard you the first time. There weren't any witnesses.
フェリックス。
No witnesses. He's not even denying.
Jackass had it coming.
Shut it, Felix. You're not making this any better.
You get cute with me again, you little back-bait brat, I will toss you out of there.
This is the groundbreaker, not Byzantium. You ain't the law here. I am. Now move along.
I don't have time for this.
どうしたん？
Going for a stroll around the docking base? Sure was. Got a knack for upsetting the board and the Mardettes all at once. Between you and me, I was hoping they'd come to fisticuffs. I had this foreman, right? Guy never liked me, always trying to get a rise out of me. But I keep my chin up, right? Be the bigger man, I tell myself. He's a Spacer's chosen man, though. So when the Chosen beat my Rangers the other night, my foreman comes swaggering up with his head full of boasting. Exactly. I was only doing what any self-respecting Rangers fan would do.
なんかね、このゲームの世界は
Look,
ね、
this was a
なん
long time coming.
かトスボールっていうなんかね、オリジナルのスポーツがあるんだ
And
よ
I'm。just a back bay's dock worker.
多分それのことを言ってる。
Well,
レンジャーズとか。
Guess I just tendered my resignation. Enjoy my freedom. Scrounged together enough bits for a 0G. Other than that, can't say as I do. Hey, not for nothing. But I saw you wander out of that ship over there by the dock. Wouldn't happen to be yours, would it? So your ship's got a dark and violent history? This is just too perfect. Hey, I don't want to talk your ears off, guessing you got places to be. I appreciate your time. Felix Millstone. Pleased to make your acquaintance. See you around, boss. Going for a stroll around the docking base? It's always fucking freezing.
マルデット。
Huh?
はあ？うん？
Do you mind? I'm trying to file a report.
Yeah, I've done work for Sublo.
Something the matter?
シャウティングメテン？マルデットっていうのは多分なんか警備員のことだろうね。人の名前じゃなくて。
Wish we had bigger weapons, but no.
Customs and
Be
inspection,
careful
right
about
this way.
blowing holes in the hull.
It's not the best choice. It's Spacer's choice.
グナーマクレット船長。
That's quite the impressive list of infractions. Yes, you caught me ruminating. What's up?
I wonder what that fella did to get the board so wild at.
Identification, please. Captain Hawthorne, you said. Let me apologize in advance. I'm about to ruin your day. According to your ship's record, you've been flagged by the board. Your ship will be impounded until such time as they see fit to lift it.
なんで？
But we've hardly been out of Edgewater long enough to get in trouble.
Well, isn't this wonderful? The captain's done something to get on the board's bad side.
Now, hold on. This isn't the end of the world. Probably. You'll want to take it up with Udom Bedford, our board representative here on Groundbreaker. His office is located along the starboard wall of the promenade. It shines like a Byzantium commode. You can't miss it. Just the opposite. The board knows we don't take kindly to their interfering in our operations here.
Surely this must be some sort of mix-up.
They must have a real big bee in their bonnets then. Everyone knows you don't trifle with Groundbreaker if you want to get your goods on time.
If I had to take a guess as to why, you probably riled up the wrong petty board bureaucrat. A man named Udom Bedford. You take the starch out of him, well, you won't hear any complaints from me. Oh, and if you're headed that way, would you mind doing me a favor? Wanda Dorset over in sickbay, tell her the shipment's not in yet. It's not coming in anytime soon, and if she'd be so obliged to get off my ass about it. A handful of sand cleaning units retrofitted for surgery. I don't know much else. I stopped listening when she started. Much appreciated. Is there anything else I can...
Gratis.
Thanks. You'll find her in the rest and go, on your left when you enter the promenade. Make sure you bring an empty belly. Most places are on the promenade deck. Big door yonder, straight through security. There's a bar on the starboard side. I got a preference for the Lost Hope myself. Talk to Vera. You need anything else? You let me know. Don't want anyone saying Groundbreaker. Maybe. Most of the shipping traffic in the system passes through Groundbreaker. Every couple of months, we even get a big interstellar freighter.
Maybe.
Two biggest operations are the board. That is, Halcyon Holdings and Sublight Salvage. But there are independent operators around the promenade deck. Most of those jobs are going to take you off station, though. Are you pulling my leg? You must be one of them long-haul freighters from outside the colony. Goes like this. Back on Earth, before the crossing, the powers that be were selling off stakes in distant star systems they thought had... But a bunch of companies decided to throw in together and form the Halcyon Holdings Corporation. Then buy up the rights to this here colony. That is what we now call the board.
まあだからこの世界での最大勢力はこの評議会って言われるハルシオンホールディングス株式会社ってことよね。
Yep. Groundbreaker's the only real independent port. Aside from us, there's just tramp freighters and wildcat miners. Seems like every year the board's offices get bigger and their ships take up more of the landing bays. Haven't seen nearly as many tramp crews this year.
でスペーサーズチョイスもここの子会社なんだよね、確か。
Groundbreaker was one of the original colony vessels to come over on the crossing, a few years before her sister ship, the Hope. Once everybody'd been de-thawed and dropped dirt side, the original crew of the Groundbreaker decided they rather liked the spacefaring life. I guess that was the start of our independent spirit. Well, here we are. Sitting around drinking whiskey and smoking cigars, yeah, probably. Can't say for sure, of course. Doubt I'll ever see the inside of it myself. Glad to help. Commandant Sanita might have a couple of folks she needs killed. Bad folks, I mean. Not regular folks. She'll be at the security desk behind me. Chief Junlei might have an errand needs running. She's all tied up trying to fix her.
No kidding? I'd love to get a look at this old girl's innards. I bet they're real twisty and weird. In a good way.
If you're thinking to make a career here, don't waste. Full-time jobs on Groundbreaker tend to be inherited, or go to a fellow crew member's kid. Relative to the board holdings? Not really. But there's a few with the mean. They aren't rich, but they aren't likely to look too close. They strip the parts from derelict ships and abandoned outposts. There's some that say they make the derelicts and encourage folks to abandon their steads. Sublight gives me the creeps. I've known folks who went to work for them and just vanished. They're on the promenade run by a woman named Lilia Hagen. I'm only telling you so you know to avoid them. All right? He's friendly enough unless you speak ill of the board. Get the sense he doesn't care for Groundbreaker much. Not that he would, being a board man and all. He's our liaison. They can't abide an independent township, especially not one they gotta depend on. We're the first and last stop out of this colony. All their interstellar freighters come through us, and we skim a few bits off the top and manifest processing fees with every one.
さっきのエメルドベールは評議会の息がかかった地域だけど、このグラウンドブレーカーはまあ中立的な船ですよっていう。
You sure you didn't just step off one of the interstellar freighters? There's no working with the board. They don't share, not bits, people, or resources. You work for them, or you don't work at all. Groundbreaker cooperating now would be tantamount to joining their ranks, and we sure as shit ain't about to do that. Sounds like, yeah. But from where I sit, it's all coming through loud and clear. They got assault cruisers, gunships, and a handful of mining operations at their fingertips. We push them too hard, maybe they decide we'd be better in 10 trillion little pieces. Or they cobble together a new...
The board wouldn't do that. Would they?
The board is necessary to provide order to the colony. They believe it's their prerogative to overrun you. But whether you allow that is up to you.
It's a tough line to walk, no doubt about that. But we make do all right. So far, anyway. Sure thing. Be seeing you.
長かったな。長えな、ここの人たちの話は。すごい細かいことを教えてくれる。
This is it. Security. I can check the departures register to find out which crew the Scholar, shipped in and out with. I find myself marveling at something.
どれどれ
I picked up this weird signal the other day. It was coming from Monarch.
Here we go again. No one lives on Monarch. It's a wasteland. You were hearing things.
Unless you're here to file an incident report or to inquire about the bounty posting, I must kindly ask you to clear out. The last tip we got pointed toward the back bays.
Back
You want the
bays.
reward? Do the legwork. You and about 6 other enterprising mavericks. It's only a matter of time before someone brings me McRed's head, or his lucky lighter, as proof of kill. I do hope you're the lucky hunter, though. Good luck and skip speed to you. Still waiting to hear back on that bounty for McRed. That aside. The outlaw scientist fella, right. The board's had it out for him for it. If you have an inkling of the wheres or what fors of his... He's the board's watchful eye here on Groundbreaker. To the board, yeah. You've read his wanted poster. Whole list of things to get their unders in a wad. But he's never done nothing to Groundbreaker.
この人かっこいい
So
な。
I've no problem with him.
声
We
も
keep
か
the
っこいい
poster
な。
up to keep the peace is all. Do I look like your gossipy best friend? While I'm on post, I take my duties real serious. I would have no qualms whatsoever escorting you to a cell. Understand? Then get to business or get moving. We're the security force here on Groundbreaker. Started back before the crossing, you know. The original force was made up of a Marine detachment from the 77th Marine Expeditionary Unit, Trailward Fleet. Folks started calling us Mardettes because it was easier to say. Guess it stuck.
へえ。ここがあれか。入っちゃまずいやつか。マント。どうやってマント使うん？ちょっとあれどうやってマント使うんやっけな。待ってよ。これもしちょっと待って待って。しかし怖えな。即射殺かよ。立ち入り禁止エリア入ったらやば。あ、これで使えるわ。え、ちょっとどうやって使うのこれ。あー、やばいやばいやばいやばいやばいやばいやばい。
Heading back.
マントどうやって使うの？やっちゃうよな。あ、やべやべやべやべやべやべやべ。
All right, I'm going.
あ、行くな行くな行くな、お前ら行くな行くな。
On my way.
入ったらまずい。あれマントどうやって使うんやったっけな。 おお、これやばいな、やばいな。やばいな。
Keep him quiet, Cap.
やばいな、ぶち殺されるよな。あれマントどうやって使うんやったかな。ID を持っていかないといけないか。ID ね。あ、これあれいいのか。あ、これで自動的にいけるわ。オッケー。了解。スキルが足りねえ。お、変装してる。あ、マルテッドのなんか制服かっこいいね。割と好き。で、どれ？一回出よう。もう一回入ろう。足りねえ。会場レベル上がる道具とかねえかな。ちょっと待って、いった。会場スキル上がるやつねえか。そんなものはない。装備。確か持ってたぞ、俺は。解体してなければあるぞ。解体してんな。解体してた解体してた。ピッキングスキル上がるやつ解体しとった。しゃあないな。後で行くわ。クソが。びっくりした。怖え。腹いせに全部盗んだろ。あ、やべ。あ、すいません。危ねえ。あ、やばい。やっちゃった。やべ、逃げろ。すいません。すいません、やめてください。助けてください。違うんです。違うんです。違います。違います。畜生。戻るわ。
carry on.
フープ何に使うの？フープ。キング鍛えなあかんな。とりあえずレベル上げしようか思って。
This is Halcyon News. We interrupt your regularly scheduled advertisement for the following story.
何やねん。
The board would like to remind spacers and other travelers that passage to Monarch is restricted for your protection. Canyons of acid and sulfur rain are the least of the horrors plaguing the surface of Monarch. Anarchists live as one with the animals, lawless, savage, and unimplored. The board's embargo ensures that nothing can leave the planet and threaten our hard-working citizens. This is Halcyon News, reminding you that there's no I in news, no we in Halcyon, and no Mercury in Saturn.
People.キーカードゲット。おー、すげえ。
Try not to be distracted by the glare of the adverts. Lots of unsavory types about.
すげえ。It's
Rizzo's Purple Berry Fudge. A salt sour candy shell around a sweet purple berry flavored scent. Suck it, chew it, you can do it.
It's Rizzo.
Wish they'd let us off station. Air up here's just recycled space.
Hey!
Okay.
Rizzo's Purple Berry Punch. You want a punch? You got your punch right here.
Tom's had to go on break. Chief didn't have enough hands to coordinate talking. Something about the radiators being busted. I don't know. Not my fault.
ごめん、一つ言っていい？眠くなってきた。
Ooh, can we rent rent an upstairs room?
We interrupt your regularly scheduled advertisement for the following story.
一ついいか。眠くなってきてしまった。もうやる気ねえ。やる気なさすぎる。
How do you do? And welcome to the Rest and Go. We used to be the Go and Rest, but folks never knew when to leave. Sorry. Business has been slow. Anything to occupy the time. Oh, you can't miss her. Right behind you, number 2. First unit on the left, or second unit from the right, depending on which direction you count from. Fine, as long as the board keeps its grubby mitts to itself. Our chief Tennyson has an independent streak, same as her mother and grandmother who rode this ship on the crossing. There's a reason the board's embassy is a glorified shoebox. While Junlei Tennyson lives and breathes, Groundbreaker remains free. Our local garbage collectors. That Lilia Hagen never met a debris field she didn't like. She freely admits she planted her roots in Groundbreaker to escape board oversight. But I think there's more to it. She's unusual in the head, that one. Of course, most of our supplies come and go through merchants. Company ships and salvage runs are the only traffic we tend to get. I try and steer clear of that creepy fellow in the moon mask. If there's a cost to being a company man, he paid it in spades.
へえ。ちょっと盗みしますわ。よし。しゃあ取り放題だぜ。すまねえ、眠気マックスになってきたので今日はこの辺りにします。もうやる気なくてほんとすいません。まあマイペースにゆっくりやっていきたいんでよろしくお願いします。1時間ぐらいはやったんじゃない？つうわけで終わります。ありがとう。